everyone and welcome to Jack and Cat Adventures. Today we're going to be making Amish beef and noodles. So let's get started. You're going to need a 2-pound roast. My roast was really small, so I actually added 2 strip steaks that I had in the freezer to mine. You're going to cut it into 2-inch cubes and we're going to brown it on 2 sides. So in a pan you're going to put 2 tablespoons of oil, any kind you want. I'm using light olive oil, and it says 4 tablespoons, but we're going to do this in increments. So we're going to do half and then take it out and put it on a plate in half because we really want it to brown. So I'm just going to let this get warm. In the meantime, you can cut up an onion and mushrooms if you want. Now the reason I'm putting my mushrooms in is we had homemade pizza the other night and I browned the mushrooms and this is what I have left. So I'm just going to add those. If you don't have them already cooked, the directions are in here on how to cook them. I'll let you know when to put them in, okay? So I'm just going to get my oil heated up and get my meat in there. Now this takes a little while because you actually have to cook it for 2 to 2.5 hours or until the beef starts to shred apart, because actually what we're going to do is put this over the noodles and the beef is going to be shredded, so you get a little bit of beef in every bite. Okay, now that my oil is hot, I'm just going to put my beef in. Just be careful so you don't burn yourself. And if you need this for a big family, you can double or triple it. It does not matter. It's really easy to make. Now you want to make sure your oil is hot enough to brown this, but you don't want to burn it. Okay, so I have this in my pan, and I'm just going to let it brown, and then I'm going to flip it and brown it on the other side. And then I'm going to take it and put it on a plate and continue with the rest. Alright, once your meat is nice and brown, I'm just going to scrape the bottom of my pan and get all that goodness up. I'm going to turn down my heat a little bit, and I'm going to add 1 chopped onion. You're going to cook the onion until it's soft. Now, the recipe does not call for garlic. But my family loves garlic, so I chopped up 3 cloves of garlic. And once my onions are done, I am going to just put the garlic in, and I'm just going to cook it till it's fragrant. About 30 seconds. It does not take long. You don't want to burn garlic. If you burn garlic, your dish is done. Got to throw it away. To the onion, we're going to add a half a teaspoon of salt. A little piece of meat in there. Alright, so I'm just going to cook these until they're soft. Alright, once the onions are soft, we're going to add the garlic if you're using it. And we're just going to cook this for about 30 seconds, just until that garlic is fragrant. It's not going to take long at all. Alright, I'm going to add my mushrooms. My mushrooms are already cooked, so it's not going to take that long. You just want to cook your mushrooms until they're soft. If you don't like mushrooms, don't put them in. Alright, now I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of black pepper. You're going to have a half a teaspoon of salt left, and you're going to use that at the end. Alright, now just give that a good stir. Once your mushrooms are soft, You're going to add your beef back in. This is how you want it to look, nice and brown. Add the juice and everything right back in. Okay. You just give this a good stir. Get all those onions and everything mixed into that meat. Alright, now we're going to add 6 cups of beef broth. You're going to have 2 cups of beef broth left over. That's what we're going to cook our noodles in. Let me see if I can get this open. There we go. Hands are greasy. Alright, so 6 cups. Right, that's 4. I'm going to put 2 more in here. I switched between stock and broth. I like the stock better, but I just use what I have on hand. Okay, so now you're going to put the other 2 in. So that's 6 cups. We're going to stir this. We're going to put it on the stove covered for 2 to 2.5 hours until the beef is ready to be shredded. Now, you're just going to want this to simmer. Don't boil it, okay? Alright, once your meat is nice and tender, you're going to pull the meat out. We're going to keep the broth in here. We're going to bring this up to a boil. Excuse me. I'm going to add my other 2 cups of broth. Bring that up to a boil. While that's starting to boil, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of flour. Just make sure you stir it really well so that this thickens it. Use a whisk. Break up all that flour. Now, I tasted my gravy and I didn't think it had enough flavor, so I added a little bit of beef bouillon to mine. So if you want to do that, just add enough for your taste. I think I did about maybe 2 tablespoons. So now we want to get this up to a boil. While that's getting up to a boil, we're going to shred our meat. I'm just taking 2 forks and just kind of go through. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just put it in this pan. It just makes it easier. I'm going to stir that, especially while that flour is cooking in there. That flour will just thicken this up just a little bit. Okay. You're going to need 12 ounces of noodles of your choice. I'm using egg noodles. It's really boiling now. There's a piece of meat in there, it doesn't really matter. There we go. Okay. Okay, just want that flour to cook off a little bit. and taste your broth. If it needs more salt or pepper, go ahead and add it. Now you're going to add your noodles to this boiling broth. And you're going to cook these for about 7 to 9 minutes or until they're to your desired tenderness. I like mine a little al dente. I'm going to bring that back up to a boil now that my noodles are in there. I'm going to set my timer for 7 minutes. And let that cook, and I'm going to finish shredding my beef and I'll get back to you. Alright, once your noodles are done, mine took about 8 minutes, we're going to add our meat back into the pan. If you don't want to shred it, you can just leave them whole. It does not really matter at all. Okay, let me just get this all out. Alright, just stir that together and you are ready to serve. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And remember, you do you.